What's up, everybody? It's me, Greg Miller, and a lot of people are asking me on Twitter, what do I think about Kiefer Sutherland coming on to be Snake in Metal Gear, rather than David Hayter, who's been Solid Snake for years and years, Big Boss for years and years and years. And the answer is I'm really torn about it. Not torn like you think. I'm not. Like, you look at the IGN comments, people are flipping out that, you know, it's not going to be David Hayter, that it's going to be Kiefer. It's for me, what this whole thing is it's this example of Metal Gear Solid moving away from what it used to be, which leaves me to ask the question, am I over Metal Gear Solid? For years, I've talked about this in every IGN podcast imaginable, anywhere people talk to me about video games. Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1 is this video game that really, really changed my life. It is this one that I think I was in this weird spot of like, am I too old for video games? I'm not really connecting anymore with my N64. What do I need? Where am I going with this? And me and my friend rented Metal Gear Solid, came home, put it in the PS1, and it really was this lightning bolt moment of, this is the future. This is where video games are going. They can deliver these cinematic experiences, like the Sniper Wolf scene. They can make me feel emotions. They can make me really connect with these characters in a way I never had before. So I still say Metal Gear Solid is my favorite game of all time. If you ask me what the best game of this generation was, like you did at PAX at an IGN panel, I said Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. I love the Metal Gear series and the mythos, and yes, the complicated storyline and timeline. I get all that. I still really, really dig all that, which is why it's weird that I don't feel in love with the series anymore. Leading into Metal Gear Solid 4, I was like, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see how this wraps up. It's the end of Snake's story. Oh my gosh, OMG, ZOMG. And I still say Metal Gear Solid 4 a 10. It was the perfect end cap to what that storyline was. I thought the game, I know I get a lot of flack for this in the top 25 lists, the game itself, I wouldn't recommend to somebody who just bought a PS3. You have to play that whole legacy, you have to play that whole timeline, you have to play that whole series to understand 4. That's the problem with it. Getting a bit sidetracked here, defending Metal Gear Solid 4. So Metal Gear Solid 5, I'm just not pumped for it. The Ground Zero's trailer looks awesome. The Phantom Pain trailer, I was like, wow, fire whale. I'm not super excited about that. But Metal Gear Solid 5, Ground Zero's, that looks cool. But I have to keep asking myself, have I outgrown Metal Gear? Am I more connected to your Naughty Dogs, your Sucker Punches, those kind of people who are making those kind of games? Because looking at this, the last thing from Metal Gear that's in my mouth right is Metal Gear Solid Revengeance Rising, whatever the hell it was called. I played 20 minutes of it, and I'm like, this is not my kind of game. More power to you. I know a lot of people dig that kind of combat, that kind of storytelling, awesome. It's getting more and more crazy, right? What drew me into Metal Gear Solid, number 1, PlayStation 1, was the fact that it felt, not like a movie, because I think that undersells our industry, but it felt like this cohesive story of who these people were, and then by the time you get to Metal Gear Solid 4, there's Drebin points, and there's Drebin with this monkey, and Meryl's going to marry the guy who poops his pants all the time. It's like, no, that's not what I'm in for. I wanted the cohesive tale, and that's why I think Peace Walker's so great, is because Peace Walker tells you this straight story. But now, getting off track, Metal Gear Solid 5's out. I know nothing about the story. I now know that there's a different voice character. And is it still the same franchise I loved? I guess that's the question. Is this still the same Metal Gear that I fell in love with and wanted, to do nothing more than talk about, to play, to have a sequel? I don't know. I don't have an answer. Hopefully next week I will. Metal Gear Solid 5, of course, at E3. IGN will be covering it like nobody's business. If you have no idea about all this Metal Gear Solid 5 news and you want some of that, click right here. You'll get the YouTube video there of Damon giving you the full scoop. And then if you want a little bit more, go to IGN.com, search Metal Gear Solid 5, and you can see a whole bunch of videos like this one of people explaining what Kiefer's up to, what he's doing. Until then, make sure you keep it on IGN for all your gaming news beyond.